CBS 12 News, years in the making with Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report finished. What happens next? Breaking his silence, New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft says he's sorry. But to who and why? Stranded at sea, more than 1,000 people caught on a cruise ship. Tonight, only on CBS 12 News, this risky rescue and the local couple caught up in the chaos.
CBS 12 News starts now with breaking news.
After nearly 2 years of captivating the nation, the special counsel's closely watched inquiry into Russian interference during the 2016 election is over. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Paul Mueller. Late Friday afternoon, a security officer delivered the completed report to Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. Minutes later, Attorney General William Barr had that very report in hand. Now, Attorney General Barr is expected to release principal conclusions to high-ranking members of Congress tomorrow. Barr says he'll determine what information can be released to the public after speaking with Rosenstein and the special counsel. And a Justice Department official confirms the special counsel will not indict anyone else in this investigation. Our CBS 12 News crews are covering the latest developments on this highly anticipated report, including what happens next. And will the findings be made public? Our AJ Walker traveled with the president's press pool today as we wait to see if or when the president will respond to the Mueller report, an investigation he's repeatedly called, quote, a witch hunt. We begin our total team coverage tonight with Sinclair National correspondent Michelle Macaluso on what happens next.
The highly anticipated report from Robert Mueller was pretty anticlimactic since we don't really know what's in it, but lawmakers here on Capitol Hill are hoping to know very soon. Congress and the country are anxiously waiting to find out what's in Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report. But top lawmakers on Capitol Hill are going to have to wait at least one more day to see Attorney General William Barr's summary of the report's conclusion. Ultimately, it's up to the Attorney General on how much of Mueller's report will be made public. Both Democrats and Republicans are demanding to see the entire thing.
That report needs to be made public.
I think it's important for the American people to have access to all of this.
Mueller's investigation indicted 34 people, including 6 former Trump advisors, but none of the charges were related to Russia collusion. The Justice Department says there will not be any more indictments from Mueller. Former White House counsel to George H.W. Bush, Seaboyd and Gray, thinks that's good news for the president.
The big sign is no indictments of any subordinates for any Russia-related activity, no more indictments at all. And I think that's a pretty clear sign that there's nothing very serious about the Russian collusion issue.
With virtually no details about the report, the big question that remains is whether there was collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia, and if the president obstructed justice by firing James Comey. The president spent part of his Saturday golfing in Mar-a-Lago. Before the report was released, Trump called the special counsel probe a witch hunt.
There was no collusion, there was no obstruction, everybody knows it. It's all a big hoax.
The entire special counsel investigation lasted 675 days. And according to the latest figures from the Justice Department, the probe cost about $25 million. In Washington, I'm Michelle Macaluso.
Now, 5 close associates of the president were also indicted, including the president's longtime advisor, Roger Stone. Now, you may remember only Sinclair Broadcast Group obtained exclusive video, here it is, of the moment home surveillance cameras captured FBI agents as they swarmed Stone's home in Fort Lauderdale, all during a 7-count indictment. More charges right now still pending against him. Meantime, the House voting unanimously to call on the Justice Department to release the full Mueller report before they begin their recess. Now, several Democrats justifying their vote by citing a previous special counsel report that found the U.S. government did nothing wrong in the 1993 assault by federal agents on a Branch Davidian compound in Texas. The complete report later released to the public. And while the nation waits for details of the Mueller report, President Trump has yet to comment. And tonight, CBS 12's AJ Walker has the details on how the president spent his day while back home in Florida. She continues our team coverage.
We were traveling with the White House press corps since early this morning into late this afternoon, tracking the president's every move. Now, we were expecting to hear from Trump regarding the Mueller report, but it was pretty quiet. No tweets, no statements, just a day at the golf course. Just before 9 a.m., President Trump's motorcade left Mar-a-Lago. After a short ride across the West Palm Beach area, he arrived at Trump International Golf Club. Things were quiet as he golfed and we waited for tweets or other information. Eventually, a White House spokesperson briefed us to say President Trump was in good spirits after his afternoon of golf. He added the president had played in a foursome, although he declined to say with who. A little after 2 p.m., Trump's motorcade hit the road again, heading back to Mar-a-Lago. Before the president returned to Mar-a-Lago, Trump supporters lined Southern Boulevard as he made his way back to the winter White House. Trump had no publicly scheduled events today and wrapped up with the media around 3 p.m. We don't have word on the president's plans for tomorrow, but CBS 12 will be traveling along with the White House press corps again. And of course, we will keep you up to date with all the latest details. Reporting outside of Mar-a-Lago, I'm AJ Walker, CBS 12 News.
And the White House says President Trump has not been briefed yet on the contents of the Mueller report since it hasn't been released. Of course, we are tracking this developing story every step of the way, as you just heard AJ say. And as soon as we get the details, we'll get them to you on air and online at CBS12.com. Speaking out for the first time, New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft now breaking his silence. All of this comes in the wake of last month's crackdown on alleged prostitution and human trafficking here in South Florida. Kraft finding himself charged for soliciting at a spa in Jupiter. Did he or didn't he? Patriots owner Robert Kraft releasing a statement Saturday after weeks of silence. This following accusations he solicited sex from prostitutes twice at the Orchids of Asia Day Spa in Jupiter. In the statement, Kraft said he, quote, remained silent for legal purposes, but is, quote, truly sorry. He went on to say, I am truly sorry. I know I have hurt and disappointed my family, my close friends, my co-workers, our fans, and many others who rightfully hold me to a higher standard. He went on to say, the last thing I would ever want to do is disrespect another human being. Kraft is one of dozens of people charged in connection with the crackdown, and police say they had the video evidence to prove the 77-year-old exchanged money for sexual services. The Jupiter Spa, one of 10 spas in all, shut down. All part of the investigation into how those spas could be tied to an international human trafficking ring, while a spokesman for Kraft denied the allegations. Meets on the explicit and potentially embarrassing surveillance video from inside the Orchids of Asia Day Spa in Jupiter could be made public. Now, according to the New York Post, an attorney for Robert Kraft says the Palm Beach State Attorney has turned down their request to keep the video and pictures from going public. Kraft is one of more than 25 men charged in connection with the investigation into that Jupiter Day Spa. He's entered a plea of not guilty. Kraft will be arraigned on March 28th. And to read Robert Kraft's full statement and to read the very latest into the human trafficking investigation, just head on over to our website, CBS12.com. Okay, turning out the weather. Picture perfect day today, and the Storm Track weather team says, get ready for another one tomorrow. But wait, yes, there's always a but in there, right? Our next weather maker is already on the move. Chief Meteorologist Aaron Christensen is here in the house tonight. Aaron, I think I smell change in the air, or is that your perfume?
Either that or maybe the onions I had with dinner. I'm not sure, Paul. But yes, changes in the air. But look at this from earlier today. Lots of folks enjoying the first Saturday of spring at Lake Worth, needing the umbrellas to shade them from the sun rather than the rain. But change is already starting to move in. You've noticed the increase in our moisture, up to 73% humidity, 68 degrees our air temperature. Now, the temps aren't going to change a whole lot, so don't panic here. Right now, we are in the 50s, closer to the Treasure Coast, Vero Beach, Fort Pierce, but Port St. Lucie all the way down through West Palm Beach in the 60s, 70 for Boynton Beach as well as Boca Raton. Those are current temperatures, but we will dip to 64 here overnight. You'll notice those clouds moving in, and that is a sign that change is near. We're tracking our next weather maker. What else it'll bring us coming up.
All right, we continue now with breaking news. Bullets fly along a busy West Palm Beach street in broad daylight. Here's the scene right here, killing one man and injuring at least 3 others. Detectives tonight trying to determine if the gunfire is connected to a car crash happening right about the same time. CBS 12 Nyla Charles live tonight from St. Mary's Hospital, where police say the victims are now. And Nyla, do we know how they are doing at this point?
Well, Paul, we're working on figuring that out. Police spent most of the day investigating the large crime scene that spanned 7 blocks, 2 crashed cars and many bullets. Police say it's like solving a puzzle piece, trying to determine which of the pieces fit together and whether or not the crime scenes are related. It may not look like it, but police say this is a Dodge Challenger, now crushed into something you'd see in a junkyard. Police say one man from that car is dead, ejected from the vehicle, that Challenger colliding with this gray Acura. Also at the scene, several shell casings. Police say just before 2 this afternoon, they were alerted by the Shot Spotter, the city's gun detection system, the same time this crash happened. Witnesses too afraid to go on camera tell us the Charger was on the wrong side of the road, trying to escape shots from another vehicle not at the scene. They say the driver of the Acura was at the wrong place at the wrong time, hit by the Challenger. Officers collected evidence from 41st and Broadway in West Palm Beach all the way to 48th Street. All those blocks closed off as detectives investigated. But that's not all. A law enforcement source tells CBS 12 News this scene at East Tiffany Drive is also connected to the first scene, this one being investigated by the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. Again, 3 people are in the hospital, no word yet on their condition. We're working on getting more information from the West Palm Beach Police Department and Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. For now, reporting live from West Palm Beach, Nyla Charles, CBS 12 News.
Story continues to unfold. Nyla, thank you. And this latest shooting bringing an end to a very violent week here in the city. On Wednesday, gunfire killed 1 and injured 3 others. That investigation spanning 3 scenes. Here's the map. 1 along 17th Street, another one along 24th Street. The 3rd scene unfolding not even 30 minutes later on Manning Avenue. That's, again, less than 10 minutes away. Investigators don't believe these shootings are connected. The one to turn to, the first to alert you of these shootings on your mobile phone. To get immediate updates, all you have to do is download our CBS 12 News app. Tonight, the mother of this 2-year-old girl, there she is, discovered wandering alone in Haverhill Park in West Palm Beach, has been found. Investigators located the mother this afternoon and would only say that she, quote, surfaced, and that they're still investigating. That little girl found last night and taken into DCF custody. Up next tonight, this Saturday night, chaos on a cruise ship. A local couple finding themselves on a stalled ship going nowhere fast. Tonight, their terrifying story, and it's a story you'll only see on CBS 12 News. An elderly woman brutally beaten. Bystanders recording the heartless attack. Tonight, how police caught up with the culprit. Erin's going to get us caught up now with the weather.
This is true, Paul. I'm tracking our next weather maker. It's going to bring the wind back, and I'll let you know just how gusty we'll get and for how long.
This week on Full Measure, federal agencies are spending your tax dollars to make themselves look good. A Full Measure investigation into how much the government is spending on PR and whether it's worth the price tag. Plus, air wars, a costly fight between American air carriers and 3 Middle Eastern airlines. What's at stake and why it matters. And federal officials are handing out relics known as challenge coins. On your dime, we're following the money. Those stories and more this week on Full Measure.
Here is a look at right now at our Sky Team 12 drone shot of the day. Does it look familiar? Of course it does. The video from downtown West Palm Beach. This just into the CBS 12 newsroom. The man police say was caught on camera viciously beating an elderly woman on a New York subway is now in custody. We've stopped the video right there for good reason. Police say Mark Gomez kicked the 78-year-old former kindergarten teacher several times. That video then went viral, not only for its brutality, but because 2 strangers whipped out their cell phones to record the whole thing instead of helping that elderly woman. Eventually, a tipster led police to Gomez, who tonight is facing felony assault charges. Stranded at sea, more than 1,000 passengers stuck on this very cruise ship. Now, the risky rescue. Tonight, a Wellington couple lucky enough to make it to dry land, and they're speaking only to CBS 12 News. A dream trip of a lifetime turns into a nightmare. 1,300 passengers stranded in the North Sea. Hurricane-force winds, an engine that gave out. The Viking Sky cruise ship crippled.
When the ship was listing in the restaurant, there was a fair amount of panic, but then the passengers were all moved to the front of the ship.
Kenneth Treadwell and his wife Cindy ready for an adventure to see the Northern Lights. Then, out of nowhere, their journey taking a dangerous turn.
He had notified us that he put out a Mayday signal and that helicopters were coming to pick up passengers 20 at a time.
But before that risky rescue, the Wellington couple bracing for the worst. Flying furniture, falling debris, and water gushing through the ship. The Treadwells terrified, holding hands, but soon after, a chopper high above plucking them to safety.
The lift off of the ships from about 60 feet in the air with the probably sleet coming at us sideways. And someone said that the winds were up to 60 knots and the ship was still lifting a lot.
Passengers told to leave their belongings behind, leaving the Treadwells with no ID, no passport, only the clothes on their backs. Then, one by one, more passengers pulled to safety, evacuating everyone, emergency crews say, will take hours. As for the Treadwells,
at this point, probably think about it before we do another cruise. Probably not the North Sea.
might be a good idea as that rescue continues tonight. Hurricane force winds there. It's hard to believe.
What a rough situation. At least those folks are okay.
Yeah, rough situation indeed. And you know what? I was telling you earlier, I was sitting out on the back balcony last night. It was around 2 o'clock in the morning. We get home late from work, winding down. Dare I say it started to get a little chilly outside. I won't say cold.
You know, you may have needed a sweatshirt, although...
Knowing me, I'm hot-blooded.
You probably, knowing you didn't. I would have certainly needed one. A lot of folks would have. Yeah, we actually dipped down to 53 degrees this morning.
I knew it.
Yes, 10 degrees below normal. But we knew that was coming, right? We've talked about that cool air over the past couple of days, and this is going to be the last chilly morning, if you want to call it chilly, that we'll feel for some time. Big warming trend on the way, but we topped out at 77. That put us 2 degrees below our 79-degree average. And yes, we do have change in the air. I don't want you to panic. It's still going to be a nice day tomorrow. But here's the deal. Our high pressure now over the Gulf of Mexico, and that position is helping usher in that relatively cool air we just talked about. Our high pressure, though, is going to be on the move the next couple of days. And as it makes its way through the eastern United States and eventually into the western Atlantic, it's going to push more easterly winds in our direction. That will increase the moisture a touch. So some clouds as early as tomorrow and downright breezy, becoming windy. The breeziness tomorrow, windy later in the week. And we'll track that for you in just a second. Also, that wind making for not the greatest day for being on the water tomorrow. You'll still be okay at the beach, but swim at your own risk because the rip currents are still a concern. The intracoastal water will be a bit choppy at times as that wind will be up to about 20 knots from the east. So tomorrow, not the greatest day for being on a boat. 78 degrees for a high, and that puts us 1 below average. Partly sunny skies and, as I mentioned, breezy conditions. So you'll notice that increase in cloud cover. You'll notice the wind, maybe not the first half of the day, not too terribly breezy, up to 16-mile-per-hour winds come noon, but right around the peak heat of the day, 1 to 2 o'clock, that's when we could have about 18-mile-per-hour winds. But you are going to notice that wind as the week wears on. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we are talking gusts in the 30 to 40, perhaps even 45 mile per hour range as a front moves through. So I'm issuing a small dog alert those 3 days. Tie down the little ones because they might just fly away with those gusts as strong as they are. But yeah, we are expecting a windy week, and I get more complaints about the wind than anything else. So it might be a rough week for some folks. Temperature-wise tomorrow, still just about normal at 76 for Jupiter, 76 Juneau Beach. We're talking 77 for the Wellington area, 77 Fort Pierce, 78 Vero Beach, Okeechobee 78, and 79 Belle Glade. Here's the 7-day forecast where that weekend is always in view. Our front brings a 30% chance for rain back Monday, 10% Tuesday, 20% returning on Wednesday.
A little bit windy, Aaron. All right, thank you. Next up in sports, a tennis legend serving up quite a shocker. Why Serena Williams will not be in this year's Miami Open. Plus, the Sweet 16, could Florida State make it? Anna Logan has highlights from the hardwoods at the NCAA tournament. That and more next.
South Florida Honda Sports Report.
Palm Beach Gardens resident Serena Williams has no chance of winning the Miami Open this year. And no, that's not my personal opinion. She withdrew from the tournament today, just 1 day after she won her first match at Hard Rock Stadium. The 8-time Miami Open champion withdrew from the tournament because of a left knee injury. There was no mention of this injury in yesterday's press conference. Williams has not won a tournament since the Australian Open in 2017. Well, today, the #1 tennis player in the world and Boca Raton resident Naomi Osaka taking on Shea Suwei. Suwei is one game away from winning the match, hammers it down. Osaka responds, but Suwei taps it over the net for the win. Suwei, who is ranked 27th in the world, knocks out and upsets Osaka. She's out of the Miami Open, winning 4-6, 7-6, 6-3. Well, yesterday, Delray Beach native Coco Gauff was knocked out of the Miami Open by Daria Kasatkina, the 14th ranked player in the world. I mean, hey, if you're going to go out, you got to go out like that. Gauff won 5 games to Daria's 12, but knows there were positives that came out of the match.
I felt like I was more of the aggressor in the match. I think I could just focus a little bit more on game points and try not to go for it as big on certain points. But overall, I'm not mad about how the match went, or how I played. Obviously, I wanted a different result, but it comes with experience and time.
Wise beyond her years. Again, she's just 15 years old. Well, tennis is great, but I mean, it is March Madness. 10-seed Florida battled 2-seed Michigan today in the second round of the NCAA tournament. First half action here, Noah Locke with a wide open three-pointer. Gators within 3. Still in the first, Andrew Nembhard lobs it to Kavarius Hayes. It's a 1-point game. Second half action now, Michigan up 8. Nembhard drives, dishes it to Keontae Johnson for the slam. Gators inching closer, but Michigan closes the door. Xavier Simpson with the long bounce pass to Isaiah Livers, and yeah, that's all she wrote. Gators just 19 of 55 shooting from the field. Yikes. Florida is eliminated from the NCAA tournament, falling to Michigan 64-49. Well, number 4, Florida State taking on 12-seed Murray State. Not a great start for the Seminoles. Ja Morant hits back-to-back threes to give the Racers a 6-point lead. But Florida State comes back and turns up the heat before the half. Backdoor cut taken away. And it's lobbed to Terrence Mann for the dunk. Oh, man, Florida State defeats Murray State 90-62 and advances to that sweet, sweet 16. You can go ahead and make that out to Leonard Hamilton. I think that's what the Seminoles head coach said after the win, because with the win, Hamilton got a bonus of, $225,000. Could barely even say it. That's how much it was. Seminoles will face 1-seed Gonzaga on Thursday. Well, from the court to the links, check this out. Round 3 of the Valspar Championship today. Jason Kokrak from the tee. It's, oh, here he is, but it's going to bounce a little bit. Rolls, but it breaks. And look at that. Helped him finish at 7 under. Man, wasn't that an ace, Paul?
That's
that
a
was
great
so
shot,
nice.
man.
He is in 3rd place, but Palm Beach Gardens resident Dustin Johnson is in 2nd place at 8 under, heading into the final round. Very impressive. I cannot do that. Can you do that?
Putt-putt, maybe.
Oh, okay. Putt-putt.
Thanks, Aaron. All right. A last second of your forecast. Aaron will be back next. All right, Aaron is back with a look at your forecast once more, Aaron.
You know, tomorrow's going to be a nice day. You are going to notice an increase in cloud cover. It'll be a little bit breezy as well, but 78 degrees, 79 Monday. We'll be back to 81 Tuesday, but do keep in mind that wind is going to pick up Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Look at that. And no complaints about the wind, please, right?
Right.
Not a bad forecast at all. It was so beautiful outside today.
Oh, so gorgeous.
I know. I wanted to go to the beach, but hey, we have to deliver the news just for you. All right? Aaron, thanks for being here tonight.
Absolutely. I love it. I'll see you again tomorrow.
Yes. How about that?
Let's do it again.
Thank you for joining us tonight. CBS 12 News tomorrow morning, and then join us right back here tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. Until then, stay safe and have a good evening. Good night.